timeline, how this plays out, okay? So she wants to experience all of the alphas in her early years during her most valuable time. And again, I brought up last webinar or last week that women will say your 20s is your decade to date around. So literally their most valuable time, she wants to just date around, experience all the alphas, because you guys, it's not hard at all for women to sleep around and to feel empowered. They think they're such hot stuff. It's so easy because they're the gatekeepers of sex, and men are the gatekeepers of commitment, marriage, and all that stuff. So women go around thinking they can get a bunch of sex, thinking they're hot stuff, not realizing that it's so easy. If any of us were women, it's so easy. There's zero accomplishment in that. But that builds up their mind, and it also builds up their expectations because of hypergamy. Their expectation gets higher and higher and higher. Their own self importance keeps getting higher and higher and higher because they keep thinking they're hot stuff for attracting these, higher status men. Then she expects to settle down. Settle, I talked about this before. That's literally the words they have, the mindset they have. They're settling with a Betamon when she can no longer compete for the looks and attention with younger women. And this is, during her declining years, she still expects the best, right? She's expecting that all these guys will still do everything for her, not realizing that obviously some Betamon still will slobber after women after they hit the wall. But a lot of Betamon they're still going to slobber over the next younger thing. I mean, so they don't realize that even their Betamon chances go down and down as they get older. And their expectations get higher, so they also see every guy that wants them is lower and lower. So it's just like, it's like a very bad cycle for them. And that's why they say, where are all the good men at? Where are all the good men? I can't find them. All the good men are gone. There's no real men left out of there. They don't realize that their own hypergamy filter, it's like, here's what I think of with hypergamy, right? Imagine wearing night goggles and all the men that like actually would be a good fit for her, it's like she can't see any of them. She has these certain goggles on, and every time she experiences a new high status man, she literally is blind to any man she sees as lower status. So she walks around literally going, where are all the good men at? Where are all the good men at? Because her hypergamy has just completely wiped out all of these men that are definitely on her level or above her. She just looks at them as lesser. She doesn't even see them. It's just her internal hypergamy. And women have no idea that this happens. But we all know this happens, man. We all know this happens. Look at this meme. When he doesn't cheat on you, loves you unconditionally, pays all your bills, and treats you like a princess. And then it shows her just beating up on the Betamon. That's it, because again, her mindset is that she settles, so everything he does is never enough. Everything he does, every joke he cracks, oh, that's a dad joke. This guy's such a loser. What? Oh, man. The guy's like trying to make jokes, trying to cheer her up, and she's just like, you're such a loser. Because she keeps going, she thinks back to all of the Chad and Tyrone she's been with. So now any little thing that makes her unhappy, she like justifies it in her head because she thinks she's settling, and she's like, this guy's such a loser. It's sad when you hear the real talk behind the scenes of women and how they think about their Betamon providers. It's sad, man. I think I have some memes for this one. Hey, thanks, my man. Despa Bikes. Dropping nothing but truth bombs. This guy knows what he's talking about, man. I've been around the field many times. I've been around the block, 6 or 7 times. So let's see here. And it's just gotten worse and worse with the attitude out there. So guys need to understand this stuff, or they will get eaten alive. Okay. How this plays out. All right. Check this out. Actually, no, I'll show it after the next slide. I'll show a couple more memes I got. But it's interesting. Now, this next slide, guys, I will preface this. This is totally, this is just my own thoughts as I was making the slides and I was finishing up today. I was kind of like, because a lot of guys, and some guys ask me, and I think I actually have a video that will come out soon about guys ask, like, do women actually know that there's a wall? Like, they have to know this is real, right? They have to know. And so we all know that the wall is real. And guys, some guys go, well, it's karma and all that stuff. See, this is just my own thoughts. I don't know. Some of you guys might actually know if you've really looked into this on this sense. But this, to me, makes sense that the wall, why do women have a wall that hits faster than men and all that? To me, I think this is nature's or God's, however you want to look at it, way of focusing women on their family. Now, there are certain women that really don't want a family, so maybe focus women then on more of a spiritual journey, a spiritual growth or something. But to get them out of this mindset of sleeping around, I think nature, God, is way smarter than everyone gives credit for. And so it's like a built-in security for if society allows what we see now, rampant hypergamy or whatever. It's like a built-in security system. So the wall will hit. We all know that. It all depends on different women, different ways they've partied, sometimes different ethnicities, age faster or whatever. But typically around 30. So I was wondering, like, without a wall, what would women ever get past riding the CC? Riding the cock carousel, just jumping around from man to man. Would they ever get past that when society like now has allowed it? Would women ever get past this if they didn't have this built-in wall where their fertility drops and their looks diminish? See, that's why I'm wondering. And that I just want your guys' input on that, honestly, because I was just like, yeah, okay, I guess that's really smart because, again, with women and their hypergamy, how they're designed and all that stuff, and that they're going to be the ones that are able, to give birth. If they didn't have a wall, we would be so screwed. We would be absolutely screwed. But the wall, I feel like, is the way to kind of, like we say, even the playing field, I guess. And here was another interesting thought. So a lot of guys go, this will never change. This will never change because women have a really hard time seeing the wall and all that stuff. But I have a feeling, guys, we will not only get more men waking up to this, I have a feeling that older women are going to start siding with MGTOW and red pill, because just think about this, guys. If you have older women that have committed to a guy, and you have all these promiscuous women that are just going around, sleeping around and all that, what is an older woman who now has lost her looks and, lost her fertility? She's got to be fearing, right, that there's going to be younger women going out doing things to snatch up her husband or her Betamon or wherever it is at that point. So I have a feeling that eventually women, because there's going to be so many single women that are younger than the other women, older women are going to start siding with red pill and MGTOW because older women have been through it. They actually understand that there is a wall, and they're going to be like, well, shoot, if these other women are just sleeping around all this till they're 35 and I'm 45, 55, I'm never going to have a chance. They're going to have to start preaching to younger women, there's a wall. You better, commit to them now. I have a feeling that's the case. And watch this go, though. This is interesting, guys. Okay, I got to pull off this slide here. This was from Female Dating Strategies, one of my new favorite places to visit. All right, check out how younger women word this. This is how brainwashed younger women are. Are most older women suffering from internal misogyny? Guys, let's feel good about this. Us men are not the only ones that are being called misogynists. Older women are being called misogynists. This is how crazy the brainwashing has got. My grandma, who is 87 years old, and I were once talking when I was 19 years old. And she told me that one of her neighbors, who's 30, might be a good catch for me. And I was in shock. This guy is 30, dropped out from middle school, barely average looking, and he's a little bit mentally ill and perverted. Of course, that's her own, take on it. I, on the other hand, was 19, considered above average by many people, and even my grandma admit that I was beautiful and I was about to enroll in med school. When I asked her if she was joking, she was actually serious and wanted me to give a try with this older loser. Again, just notice her language. Because he's a good guy. Laugh out loud. I told her, why doesn't she set him up with my other cousin, who dropped from high school and who's 33 years old, since she's closer to his age than I was at 19. I also considered her to be out of his league, though. I just wanted to see what my grandma's reaction. And my grandma replied to me that she is too old for him. This grandma's dropping nothing but truth, nothing but true knowledge. Respect your elders, younger lady there. I was like, what the F? So a 19-year-old student is suited for a 30-year-old loser, but not a 33-year-old woman? My grandma then told me that it's awful for me to think so highly of myself that I'm not that pretty to think that I deserve better than this guy, because even if I'm considered beautiful, I am not Miss Universe, and this guy might find a woman younger and prettier than me, and he would deserve it. This grandma is speaking nothing but truth. Again, this is why I go, I think older women eventually will start siding. I really do. I think that older women will start siding with Red Pill and MGTOW. I do. Because they're going to be so scared that their guys will just leave them for younger. Like, it makes sense, right? Does that make sense? I mean, I don't know for sure, but I just think, even though I love my grandma, I can't help but consider her a real pick-me because of how she prefers her sons but ignore her daughters and makes us do all the chores just because we're girls and guys can lie around because they're men. But even in the dating area, she considers a 45-year-old loser to be worthy of a stunning 20-year-old woman. She just keeps making up all these different numbers and all. This lady's insane. This younger lady. The older woman is sane and rational. Are most older women like that? Yeah, they haven't been brainwashed quite as much as you younger women. That's why. She once told me, when I was 16, I married your grandpa who was 35, and he had nothing plus of being ugly. But I loved him, took care of him, and gave him children, like a woman must do. I wasn't entitled to an Elvis Presley. That is the words from a grandma. See, that is the difference in the mindset of before and now. That is, again, I love to preach this, right? When we say women walk around with an entitled attitude, it's not what these young women are brainwashed to think. It's not like guys walk around wanting women to be so insecure. We don't want women to hate themselves. We don't want women, like this grandma is talking sense into this younger woman who cannot get it through her head. And I got to show you guys a comment. And then I saw a super chat here I'll get to. Okay, so that was the first part, right? And there was a lot of comments to this, but I just did this morning as I was finishing up slides. Let me put, grandma. Here we go. All right, so this was a one, look at this, 46 upvotes on this one. Toxic masculinity, misogyny, and patriarchy at their best. These women are convinced that these actual smart older women that have actually lived life 87 years old, you'd think that maybe she has something to teach this younger woman. You'd think. But no, these younger women believe. This is why I think older women will rebel against younger women. These younger women think these older women were brainwashed. They go, look at these older women. It's so sad they were brainwashed by the patriarchy and misogyny and masculinity. Man, they were so brainwashed. They literally look at these older women like they're brainwashed. And these older women have got to be looking at these younger women like, you are a dummy. You have no idea what's going to happen to your body. You have no idea what the real world is like. Just as a side note, the older I get, the more I realize that my parents were right about a lot of stuff. You know, when they say respect your elders, that is something that, I mean, I learned. Older people have a lot to teach us. I'll just say that to us younger people. Although they have a lot of life experience, there's a lot of things that they can teach us. This right here is one that this younger woman should pay attention to. For some, it's because of how they were born and bred. Part of their upbringing and not knowing any better or any different. Not having enough or any education and/or self-awareness. This is so hilarious because these older women are thinking the same thing. They're going, these younger women, it's because of how they were born. Like how we know. It's how these younger women are born into this propaganda about feminist empowerment, masculinity is bad, toxic masculinity, all that stuff. They go to indoctrination school. They go to, so they got the public schools, and they go to colleges, which are, I mean, if anyone's in college right now, you could probably speak to it. Gosh, bad with the crazy, propaganda they're teaching these people. These older women have got to be like, this this lady's so stupid. My granddaughter's such an idiot. She's got to be thinking that. And this granddaughter's thinking, these old women have no idea. Look at the disconnect. For others, it's because they have suffered themselves and feel that others should go through the same too. Just because. Due to their narcissistic and other personality disorder and toxic thinking patterns, or simply because they are bitter and jealous. This is the stuff that is fed to these women. They just have the same repeat talking patterns, and they use these like narcissistic, personality disorder, toxic. They use all these like trigger words that we hear on the news, and they think they're special. They think they're well read because they listen to the mainstream media, which is the most wrong fake news thing they can actually look at. For others, it's supporting the status quo in the old ways, in traditional life, and what have you, because they are opposed to the supposed erosion of contemporary society in the concept of family, its values and ways of life. There are other rationales behind such thinking. Your grandma's behavior is toxic and misogynistic. This grandmother dropping truth bombs is a misogynist. Grandma lady, if you are ever watching this, you know what? I welcome you. I welcome you because I feel like you can drop some truth bombs. We see your sanity. We see your rationality. And I appreciate that. When a woman can show rationality and common sense thinking, I appreciate that. So shout out to this 87-year-old, guys, right? Shout out to this grandma trying to drop some truth. All right, and then we got this. This is not uncommon for grandmas. Laugh out loud. My grandma comments negatively on every woman she sees on TV. Hates when women get on and become prominent and thinks men are better at everything. No female solidarity at all. She's 87 now, another 87-year-old. I love her dearly, and she always raves about me in a superficial, looks-focused way. But the anti-woman energy does grind my gears. Again, older women are gonna take men's side, guys. I have a feeling, right? The sane women left. Some of those older women that can see past the propaganda. And shout out to if any married men here have a wife that actually understands. Like I say, guys, see, what I had to learn is that I'm an optimist. I was preaching to like the exception to the rule. Like, oh yeah, guys, I think you can make a relationship work. I think you can make a marriage work, because literally in my life I've seen it, right? But I've learned that that's such an exception to the rule that it's like the actual prominent thinking is, dude, you just got to be careful. It's going to be so hard to find a unicorn and we know that unicorns can change their thinking because of what's pushed in society and culture right now. Oh man, I thought that was great. Grandma dropping truth bombs. All right, sorry, I saw a super chat back here. I gotta scroll up here. Mad Max, my man, Mad Max, super chat. Thank you. Okay, kid, you got a fan. Hey, I'm a fan of you, Mad Max. I'm a fan of you. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe.